Hello there, this is Marianne from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. So technically I'm still on vacation, but I wanted to take a particular look at Ukraine. Viewers have been requesting that reading. We might just do 3 months out and see what we can see. And the other thing that kind of grabs me is the matter of the US congressman, proven liar. Oh gosh, where you know who I'm talking about. It's George Santos. I came across a story this morning where he fundraised as Anthony DeVolder, because he goes by many aliases. He fundraised for a veteran's dog to get the necessary treatment for that dog. He kept the money. I think it was about $3,000. And of course the veteran's dog didn't get the surgery and subsequently died. Just when you think it can't go any lower, it goes lower. And of course the Republican Party, very worryingly, we've seen a lot from them, but they refuse to eject him from the Congress. In fact, they've rewarded him with committee assignments. So I said in my last video, this is the type of thing you see in a banana republic. I'm not sure what you do when the opposition party has sank so low. So we'll see if the law catches up to him. I think there are calls from that same Republican Party in the New York district that he was elected from, obviously for his resignation. But also there are calls from New York to take his passport away because he's under several investigations. So we'll just take a look at him. But first to Ukraine. What worries me with Ukraine is that the support will start to dwindle at exactly the time that Vladimir Putin, the war criminal, the aggressor, the invader, ramps his last-ditch effort up and pushes forward with a new mobilisation. The support worries me that the support will dwindle at exactly the critical time. So I do feel Ukraine is moving into a critical time. I also want to make it clear that the support has not stopped. Australia has just announced more aid for Ukraine. And our soldiers are actually going over to the UK to join an international mission to train about 20,000 new Ukrainian soldiers. And so even though we're a country of 26 million, our support is ongoing, as is the European support as well. Europe, I think, has committed to about $18 billion in concessional loans this year just to keep the Ukrainian economy afloat and the infrastructure going as they are bombarded with these bombs that Russia is targeting at civilian residential buildings, schools, hospitals, playgrounds. It really is quite unthinkable. So Europe is sending more aid. The UK has announced more aid. I think Germany has sent tanks most recently. The Netherlands, God bless the Netherlands heart, has announced another $1 billion aid package. The US, just before the House went into Republican hands, passed a massively big aid package for Ukraine. However, in the US, and I think to a lesser extent in other countries, this is largely driven by Republican thinking. I think about 52% of Republicans, the last survey I looked at, didn't want any more or wanted a reduction or wanted aid to stop to Ukraine. Thankfully, there was about 48% of Republicans who wanted to continue to support Ukraine. However, it's become a part of that toxic political cycle. We all know what will happen well, it doesn't matter whichever country you live in, we know what Putin is capable of: election interference, espionage, literally funding candidates to get into parliaments and into democracies, democratic institutions, and of course we've seen the result with the ex-president. And I must say, other Republicans who have taken Russian money. So Ukraine fights for us all, and the Baltic states surrounding Ukraine have given, as a percentage of their GDP, the most. I think it's Estonia. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at Ukraine. I can't hardly imagine really what it's been like for them. So much trauma, so much abuse, so much death. All right, they are fighting particularly ferociously against Russia in Bakhmut, and Russia has taken some gains in that area. Putin is mobilizing again, and I think in February we'll send a lot of troops into Ukraine, new troops. All right, Ukraine, show me the current status of the war in Ukraine. Let's just take a look at that. Current status of the war in Ukraine. Okay, I'm using the what's it called? I've forgotten. Holographic tarot? Okay, so we've got the world card. Well, that's endings and beginnings. Endings and beginnings. And that's the last card in the major arcana. It talks and speaks of the ending of a major cycle. It's what we all felt, that this battle, this David and Goliath battle that's being fought in Ukraine, and I don't really care if you're tired of hearing about Ukraine. I'm not tired of reading about Ukraine. So, the world card, endings and beginnings, speaks of a major, major, major end of a cycle. It's what I've always felt with this. This is like the proxy battle that really is a World War III, only we don't have boots on the ground. Ukraine does, and Ukrainian soldiers are dying. Crikey's judgment, and it's an inevitability that it will come to an end. It's an inevitability, this war, this invasion of Ukraine, Putin's era, Russia's era, the aggressor's era, the challenges to democracy. It was an inevitability. Looks like it's an inevitability. It will come to a close. Now we have the Four of Wands here. Homes, reunions, family reunions. Could even be immigrants coming back. It's a lot more hopeful, these cards, even though they're very heavy than what I thought. The Two of Wands in the past position, being patient that things will come to fruition in time. This person holds the world in their hands. What's in the sky? The King of Cups, yeah. All those Biden detractors, look at that. Look at how the light's going through that card. You should never write the current president of the US off, nor should you write any of the leaders of any of the countries that know exactly what would happen if they didn't support Ukraine. It is a wise thing to do. It's a mature thing to do almost, but it's also no mistakes. The Crossroads card in the immediate future. There's a battle coming up, or a time coming up, when it will decide this battle once and for all. There are heavy decisions to be made. Now, the Death card is in the here and now. The Death card, the soldier riding that white horse of death. Why are we not surprised about that? The Three of Wands in the environment around. Really? What counts now? What counts now is the work that has been done, the work that is being done in terms of training these troops, and I'm proud that our Australian soldiers are over in the UK doing that, because the intent behind that is the better trained they are up against a very poor Russian army, where they're just taking prisoners out of jail and sending them as cannon fodder to the front. The better trained the Ukrainian soldiers are, including in how to operate the weaponry that is being given to them, it counts for something. Now we have the Seven of Cups in the hopes and fears, many pathways to take. People are, I guess, as battles go on, it doesn't matter what the battle is, there are periods of time where people go, I don't even know why I'm, there's a confusion here. It's about something very important coming into form. We're talking about world peace coming into form, or a period of world peace. As much as I can say that, there will always be battles. But major volatile tipping point battles. This is one of them in Ukraine. Now we've got the Empress card, which is abundance. It's also my card for Russia. So that's in the outcome position. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so this can also be independence. It can be the financial funding. And then we've got the Queen of Cups here. I do believe that Queen of Cups has something in that cup that she's not showing us. I do believe that Russia is being helped by, let's just say, forces that we can't see. But we've got the King of Cups there as a potential outcome. And the Moon card, yeah, definitely clarifying the Empress card. There are things that we can't see in operation here that are beyond our even our best penetrative view. There are forces here we can't see, both good and bad. Now, the fighting continues. I think that at the moment Russia is making some progress in Bakhmut, in that region. However, that Nine of Pentacles also tells us that they may be running out of steam. What can't we see? The Page of Swords. Page of Swords talks about, it's like the propaganda aspect of this, and the High Priestess, again, something that we cannot see, partnerships that we cannot see. So we know that Iran is helping Russia. We know North Korea is. I want to ask who else. Well, I'm not going to ask it. I'm going to say that they are receiving help from another or others that we can't necessarily see. However, it's not going to be enough. So let's take a look at Ukraine for the next 3 months. January, February, March. Well, the rest of this month. February and March. Let's give these cards, the holographic tarot, a good shuffle. I might just cut the deck. They are cards that speak of perhaps Russia getting an upper hand, although I don't believe that's the case in the longer term. Our monthly cards will show us that. We can draw 3 or 4 cards. Let's see what happens over the next 3 months. NATO has also said they will send more weapons to Ukraine. So, the burden is spread amongst us. I just want that to be very clear. All right. To any Republicans that might be sitting here watching this. You're not the only ones, okay? Everyone is pulling their weight, doing what they can for Ukraine. All right. Who has the most to lose? All right, let's have a look. Aside from Ukraine. Ooh, truth card. I always speak truth to power regardless wherever that vine or weed may lead me. All right. Oh, got stuff coming out here. All right, I want to see Ukraine over the next 3 or 4 months, please. I want cards January, February, March. Perhaps April, because I think March is the deciding month. Show me the next 4 months from January through to April, please. Russia, invasion of Ukraine. Show me the conditions, please, the threats, the opportunities, the good, the bad, the wins, the losses for Ukraine against its invasion of Ukraine over the next 3 to 4 months. So the first one comes out, the Two of Pentacles. I think that's probably the signifier card for January. It's a critical month here. I feel also supplies have been held up. I'm just getting a draw to those ships. I have no idea if that's the case or not, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to get. What I'm getting. It seems as though they can't get enough supplies at the right time. We know what happens over December and January. It doesn't matter if you're waiting for an urgent operation. Yeah, there's something around supply. Supply lines aren't being replenished as quickly as they can. They've got a lot. They're fighting a lot at this time. They're having to make critical decisions. Do they fight here? Do they go there? All right, let's see what's February it talks about there. This would fit with Putin sending in more troops. The Five of Swords. Goodness. It's going to be a very, very, very difficult month in February. We'll do clarifying cards. Let's see what happens in March. Yeah. March is the critical month, and it looks like Ukraine has an influx or an injection of something that allows them to take ground. I see tanks here. I see tanks making a huge impact. The Chariot card. They move forward in March. Let's see what happens in April. The King of Pentacles. They get more funding. January, February. Of course, going to be February is going to be the most difficult, but the world answers them in March and April, and they start to turn the tide around again. Can they finish Russia off? May. That's as far as I'm going to go. Look at that. 6 of Pentacles at the base of the pack. Their victory and their sacrifices only matter if we support them. So let's look through the Prisms Tarot. Some quick clarifier cards. March, April, May, good months. Can they finish the war off? There's every chance they can this year. I think that came up in my annual predictions, but boy, January, February, hard months. All right, Two of Pentacles. Can you show me this January? Juggling, not getting supplies, trying to keep things going in multiple places, decisions needing to be made, strategic decisions. Show me January. Oh, yeah, it's January, it's hard. That's around, the devil is really toxic energy, and I think they're making gains in Bakhmut and other places due to the war criminals, the Wagner group, atrocious, disgusting barbarians. They are like ISIS. They are the Russian version of ISIS or wherever else they come from. The Moon card, yeah. Yeah, this is my feeling around, what's occurring in January. We've got the Seven of Pentacles, the Moon card, things that's neat, coming up from the surface, maybe attacks that Ukraine isn't anticipating over water, around the water, in that Kherson region. The Russians are fighting to take that back. That's a really important strategic thing for the Russians to do, and the Ukrainians are fighting just as hard. We've got continual needing to rethink the Seven of Pentacles. Again, they're not getting enough, but we have justice prevailing, and I do believe the balancing of scales, and that's what needs to happen. We're getting to it. We're getting to that balance as we move forward. But in the meantime, it could look like all is lost. Not all is lost, but February is just such a hard month here. I know that the NATO leaders, I know that the Western allies know this. They're planning for it. I don't think that's going to take them by surprise. February, let's see what happens in February. Okay, the Chariot. Yeah, okay. So that's when Russia pushes forward. The Empress, yeah. Okay, February, you can expect bigger mobilization of Russian troops into Ukraine. And the Ten of Cups speaks to me of families. It's interesting in that card, in the Prisms deck, they're in the trees, almost like hiding, families in villages, and the Page of Cups, something that we're not expecting. This is huge mobilization, and the Death card. So it would make sense that by March there's a new deliveries, new lot, more money. Now this is the last gasp of Russia. They can't do this again. I don't care what their propaganda tells you about their economy. Then the people and the martial law, etc., they'll do that. Putin will declare martial law in February. It's his last attempt here. Show me the Chariot, please, in March. The Chariot in March. Five of Wands, fierce fighting. Fierce fighting. The Nine of Swords, a lot of anxiety as well. But we have judgment. There's an inevitability occurring in this fierce fighting. And a lot of clarity and truth emerging here. And the Star card, thank goodness for that. I breathe a sigh of relief. There's hope. The war in March is the critical tipping point. Now, King of Pentacles can be the oligarchs. Can also be more funding for Ukraine. Let's have a look. Now is not the time to pull away. Now is not the time. And guess what? We don't. Show me the King of Pentacles. Show me the King of Pentacles. You'll hear the Republican House in the Congress talk about it's not our war. Don't think that this is not a playbook. Don't think they're not getting their talking points from the ex-president of the US. Back to Ukraine. A lot of anxiety. We have the Knight of Cups. Some critical help is brought forward in April. And we have isolation, investigation, review, deep thought as a result of what happens in February. We have the King of Swords. Yeah, there's new strategy, new planning. The King of Wands, I like to see a movement forward. So there's three kings there. Ukraine will be helped through strategy, through money, and through their own courage and bravery in April. Now, this is what I like to see. May, the Wheel of Fortune. Because it only has to turn once more in Ukraine's favour, and Putin will be, all will be lost for Putin. This is his last attempt. 10 of fortune. 10, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune in May. Show me what this means. The Page of Wands. Yeah, they start to move forward. The Two of Pentacles. Yeah, since when have these life-death battles ever been easy? There are key decisions to be made, but we have clarity here, the Ace of Swords and the Star card coming up again. So, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune in March and April continues to move into Ukraine's favour. We have the skilled soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers on the field. It makes a difference. We'll take another look at those later months as we go along. Okay, Santos, before I leave. Oh, it's a roller coaster, isn't it, sometimes? All right, Santos. Anthony DeVolder, Santos, whatever the hell his name actually is. Absolutely, from an onlooker on another shore. Oh my God, is all I can say. All right, let's take a look at George Santos, Anthony DeVolder. I won't even go through the lies he's told. They're well documented. They're offensive. They're bizarre. This is someone with an illness. And the Republicans are on a hiding to nowhere. This is last gasp stuff as well. I guess the Democrats are saying keep him going for as long as you can, because it just highlights how indecent you actually are, Republicans, or those MAGA Republicans. It's a battle that the Republicans, for their own decency and pathway forward, have to fight amongst themselves. This is what we'll see over the next 2 years. Okay, George Santos, he is a metaphor, in a way, for the Republican Party as it stands right now, or the MAGA branch of the Republican Party. Insurrectionists, liar and fraudsters. All right, here we go. George Santos. Is the Republican Party going to remove him from Congress? Was the House going to vote to remove George Santos, aka Anthony DeVolder, and anyone else he might have been known as? Are they going to remove him from the House? The Fool. Yeah. Yep. Looks like they are. Goodness gracious, this is a metaphor for him, isn't it? The Queen of Wands is crossing the Fool. It could even be someone like Elise Stefanik, all those New Yorkers. That's how the Republicans in the main got their majority, through taking districts in New York and through the redistricting process. Goodness. They took seats. That's why his lies worked, because he kind of made a persona that would more fit with a Democratic member of Congress. There's a woman here that makes a move against him. The Star card. Well, I don't know quite how to interpret that, but let's keep going. There's a lot of regret that's in the past. Spilt milk. 3 cups have been spilt, 2 remaining. They won't get rid of him because it just further reduces their majority. But we have the voter here. One of my viewers from Long Island said, don't ever underestimate Long Islanders, because if George Santos, or aka Anthony DeVolder, thought that the media were bad coming at him, wait till he experiences Long Islanders. This is the voters. Potentially the voters will have the say. The hanged man, suspension. I asked, would he be removed from the House? Right now, not in the immediate future, but we do have the death card. Where he's like I hate to use the expression, but he's a dead man walking, and he's carrying a load there's no way he can carry it. The 10 talks about an ending for him. These 7 of Wands in the hopes and fears. This is under a lot of investigation, federal, I think, and state. Queen of Pentacles, interesting. This is national security. He is connected to the cousin of a Russian oligarch who put money into a Ponzi scheme that he worked for. There's questions around his finances now. Whoa, he's going. We've got mortally wounded in battle here. And there's a celebration as a result. Now we've got the 4 of Wands at the base of the pack, and the High Priestess. The High Priestess and the 4 of Wands. 3, dark money. Yeah, it's around his campaign finances. The spine, the camp, the trader, and the 3 of Swords. Betrayal. Ooh, he's going to go. Not right now. Like, they might hold on. It's hard to pick a time, the immediate future, but he's going to go. You know, they might hold on for a week, maybe 2, but he's going. He's going. They're going to eject him. Will he be arrested? Maybe that's when they eject him. I don't think McCarthy can keep him, but it will be a litmus case, if you like, something that will be held up for time immemorial, how he got elected, how the Republicans knew about it. Wow. And McCarthy. I don't think McCarthy keeps his leadership either. All right, so let's have a look. Will George Santos, aka Anthony DeVolder, be arrested? He's wanted in Brazil for fraud. So we've got the 3 of Cups and the King of Cups. That is also my card for Biden. It's over campaign finances, I think. That's what's at the base of the pack. And the Ace of Pentacles. Yep, that's what he is going to be arrested. And that's the Devil card. That's what it's over. I'll just keep checking that. Is this for campaign finance laws? Woo, yeah. There's a loan that will be traced back. It's campaign finances. The voter, and we've got the world, endings and beginnings. So that whole Ponzi scheme, Harbour City Capital, the connection to the Russian oligarch. He's going to be arrested on these campaign finance. It's fraud as well. Okay, will he be arrested on fraud charges as well? Oh yeah, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, the female prosecutor, lots. It's coming in quickly. Yeah, control, the Emperor card. There's a lawmaker. Perhaps, who is there? The New York Attorney General. Yeah. Ace of Pentacles, I asked, and this is delivering. Yep. Those that supported him, loans and debts. I don't need to go any further. We've got the Temperance Angel coming in. When you see the Temperance Angel, the truth comes out, and there's no holding back that truth. I think the New York Attorney General is going to arrest him. Right. Who said that drawing cards was boring? They're not boring for me, and I hope they're not boring for you. that's the situation as I see it. Bye for now.